It's not going straight to the BBC, is it?
Well, not today.
Or CNN. Or still Al Jazeera. All my fans would be like very upset.
Have you done Al Jazeera?
I've worked for Al Jazeera.
Oh, you did?
I've worked for everybody. Been with everyone. Been with Al Jazeera, CBC, CNN, BBC, ITV.
Which one?
JUL4. Who else? Sky.
Sky.
Who else? I should do the stint with the Canadians as well.
This is good. This is good.
Japanese TV, the most recent one. Japanese TV.
Yeah, because I feel that you're quite sort of natural with it. You know what I mean? So obviously,
yeah.
But when you say have you actually done the broadcasting? Or?
No. I work as what's called an HRA, which is we love our abbreviations in the military, don't we?
Yeah. You've got to sort
which is in normal speak, it's a high risk advisor to the media teams that are going into hostile environments.
Okay.
So what I do is I I look after the team, and the team can be one person, can be two,
right.
Can be five. Had a team of 8, but then we had an extra. Then I worked together with another HRA, so we could cover in case something went wrong.
Okay, so well, yeah, there's a lot to talk about there, actually, to be honest. That's intriguing. Because, so, if you're on your own,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you move into a situation and then move the team out, and that's you're with the team. But you're not 24/7, is it?
Yes, you are.
24/7?
Yeah.
In a hotel or something?
Well, not a hotel. I mean, if you're in a hostile environment, hotels are very thin on the ground. You're either in a tent or...
Tent?
Yeah. Or you're in a UN container, or you're very dependent. It can't go from 5-star hotel as your jump-off point, but a lot of this stuff that happens is out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Okay.
So you are very dependent on not survival skills, but bush skills.
Keeping your wits about you.
Keeping alert.
Right.
The major danger is, as always, the road traffic accidents. It's not so much the terrorists popping up and loosing off a few rounds. It's the accidents, because people are tired.
Right.
The roads aren't well lit, or they're not of good quality.
Sure. Yeah.
And people speed. It always seems to be the thing. Everyone just seems to be in a big hurry. And he's a bit of a hypocrite, stop speeding, but
I suppose you don't have traffic cops in there.
No. You've got your occasional roadblock where they have a security, sort of like a control about people's movements and checking who's in the car and so on. But the big danger, the big pink rhinoceros in the room, is the road traffic accident.
Is that right?
Yeah, clearly, when you're going into some situations, you've got the health risks as well.
Yeah.
Dehydration, sunburn, diarrhea.
Yeah. Okay.
Malaria. Really nasty things to deal with. Or again, accidental injury. Somebody can have a nasty fall, or be shot, or break something. And then the thing with the HRA is that with a high-risk advisor is that I'm also a medic.
Okay.
I'm a trauma medic.
That's good to know, actually.
Yeah, no, but you have to be, otherwise they won't be sending you off with a team of people and a med kit.
Yeah, you're sort of...
So you've got formal medical instruction, which we have to renew every 3 years.
Okay.
So, yeah, so you've got that, and then there's also, you must have some form of background in either law enforcement or the military, because it just works better, you know, if you're aware of risks, and being able to calculate and understand risks and mitigate them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the people you're working with, do they tend to be pretty sensible types, or are they I mean, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing if they were, if they were sort of very sensible, would they?
Well, it's not being sensible. I think, you know, the difficulty is by the nature of news gathering or making documentaries. You've got to swim against the current, because when there's a problem, everyone is going this way, trying to get away from it. Those news gathering teams, because, you know, they've got to please their viewers and make a name for themselves.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
They're going the other direction.
Sure. Okay.
So we, as a rule, we try to facilitate as safe and as comfortable an environment for them to do their work, because it's, you know, it's days looking down the viewfinder on a camera, and they're pretty driven people. That's something I've noticed. They will work at it until they get it right.
Okay.
And that sometimes means, you know, hanging around places where I would rather, you know, be leaving very quickly from. Right. And trying to look inconspicuous. Yeah, don't look at me. I'm just the.
You've got an instinct for trouble or danger.
Yeah,
possibly.
You develop that.
Sure.
You just sort of pick up on things that are missing.
Okay.
And that's the key. If I have to put it into a sentence, being. I think I read that somewhere, that it's not a sixth sense. Well, it is actually, because it's the ability to read nuances that normally you would overlook.
Yeah.
And that tipping point where a situation that is volatile or uncomfortable suddenly becomes dangerous. Is not something you can learn in a classroom. It involves a lot of, watching people, how they're reacting, the tone of their voices, what are they doing with their hands.
But do you get do you just get like that, the back of your neck, you feel the hair sort of
spidey sense.
Something, something. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I've walked in areas and I sort of, I can't explain it.
Yeah, that's actually quite interesting, because I remember once one particular one in Rwanda, after the genocide, went into this, they've got this sort of like room where they've got all the skulls.
I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah. And that is it's a strange place. I've never been to Auschwitz, but from people who've been there, they've come away with a feeling like something's not right here.
Okay. Like a ghost style.
Well,
no, that's too easy. It's too easy.
It's like where evil has taken place.
Okay.
It leaves like a stain, smell, or it's like a psychological stamp where there has been an atrocity has been committed.
Sure.
I don't know. It's just something. I suppose it also means that we human beings are just which we then believe in, that we're more than just flesh and bone. We have a soul. We have there's more to us than just what we see.
Sure. Okay.
And on that level,
you're touching on something.
yes, something is out of whack. Something is just, and this is also something that has to a certain extent kept me alive or has urged me to move on from places where I shouldn't have been, and has therefore allowed me to, to complete tasks that would have been very dangerous if I hadn't listened to that sixth sense. It's like something where you're talking to someone who's all smiles and helpful, but you just get a feeling that that person is not telling the truth.
Okay.
And it's in the eyes, it's in the hands, it's in
the way they behave,
the grimace. It's almost, the smile almost becomes painted on.
Right.
And then it's in those moments where you can tell when to. I mean, it's not about manipulating people, but it's about being able to move around them. Without getting into a confrontation, you can still get stuff done.
So keep it down, keep the level, keep it.
De-escalate.
De-escalate. Okay.
Keep continuously de-escalating. But that doesn't really. I mean, that's a full-on confrontation. But I'm talking about somebody who's supposed to be helpful.
No, this thing about. I mean, I was sort of born and raised in the country, and I've got a sort of like a sense for country things, animals, and what you can and can't do, shouldn't do. But if you have someone sort of from the town who's always lived in the town, they come out to the country, they miss so much. Yeah. I mean, I'm not particularly good at it, but definitely I with animals, I can sense if there's an issue or not.
Yeah.
Whereas an urbanite person just completely misses the cues, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's the awareness. I think it's an awareness. It's not so much missing, but it's if your bandwidth is here, where you're totally urbanized, and when the number 16 bus is coming, what time Tesco's shuts, which train you've got to get. So your awareness is being used at this bandwidth, but the actual bandwidth of a human being is probably double that, both top end and bottom end. So things like almost sensing when to duck, or to step out of the way because something's registered. For example. Somebody's wearing a raincoat and it's a sunny day. Some people will not.
They're sweating.
They won't spot it. They won't see it. It's just like somebody's dressed. But then, if you're alert, if you're on that frequency where you are actually looking for, or you're sweeping for things that are out of place, that car's been parked there, on a busy shopping street. And there's somebody or two people sitting in it looking very uncomfortable. You'd sweep it and you'd register, but you wouldn't go and start staring at it because then you'd be missing something else. So you keep sweeping, and then it's still there. You come back and you think, oh, it's still there. Strange. They're not doing anything. They're not shopping. There's nothing wrong with the car. So you go off through a sort of checklist in your head. Why is that car there? Why is that woman? Standing, at that spot, what's she doing? And you register it, but it's not like you go around, like with binoculars going, like, ooh, look.
I think I see what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
no,
it's
I think I do, yeah.
Little signals just sort of bounce off, like sonar. It bounces back and you think, oh, that ping was a bit strange.
That's a good word. Describing it, isn't it?
Let's have another look. So you have another look and you think, ooh, a red light, the light starts flashing. That's unusual. It doesn't mean that it's automatically,
it's unusual.
Al-Qaeda, setting up to blow up Paris.
Yeah, no,
but
sure.
It just, he could be broken down, but it's registered. And that's what makes, actually working in the field with news teams quite exhausting. Because you are continuously on alert.
Assessing. Yeah.
What is happening? You know, not just around you, what's happening in front of you, what's happening where you come from, what's going to happen if it, you know, because we're not normally allowed to be out after dark.
Everybody's curfew. There's a curfew
Yes,
type of thing.
most times, you know, the news, the editorial rules indicate that just for personal safety that you're not out and about with expensive camera. I think they're more fussed about the cameras than the people, but you know, sorry, I shouldn't say that. But,
no, I can believe that actually.
But there you go.
Yeah, sure.
And then you're worrying about the drivers. Have they had had enough to eat or to drink, or are they going to be able to drive us safely back for another 2 hours from where we are to our destination?
Yeah, okay.
You know, what's the condition of the road? Oh, look, it looks like it's going to rain as well.
Right.
You know, so you're continuously ticking these boxes of, somebody's come along in the morning and said, look, I've got a bit of a pain,
Jippy tummy.
you know, jippy tummy. What should I do? So you've done some medicating, but you know you're still working that through. Right? What if she goes into full blown gastroenteritis? What do you do? You know, how are you going to figure that out? Where are my fluids? Have I got the right needles? Where would I, you know? And all this stuff is continuously going on. So by the time you actually get everyone back into the safe zone, and you know they're checking out their kids or talking about what to have for dinner, you are exhausted, literally, emotionally and physically exhausted.
I was thinking that as I was coming over, you know, you must sort of vacillate to a point between sort of extreme boredom, if to being sort of just hyper. There's a panic situation.
But you see, but that's the difference between a professional and somebody who's just come on board
for the first time.
Not first time, but somebody who's just not had the pleasure of sitting around doing nothing for 3 weeks. It's exhausting.
Right.
It is. You think on the contrary, having been used to running up and down mountains with enormous rucksacks on your back, you know, you'd be thinking that that's the only way that anything would ever wear you down. But go and stand on a door, because I used to work for Sotheby's as well in Amsterdam.
Oh, the auction people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the jobs that I did for quite a number of years, a year plus, was being shop security, as it were, for the exhibitions and for the auctions. And it was, sometimes I was just praying that something would happen. And it did on 3, I think in my whole time, 1, 2, 3 occasions. And it's especially when there's no one. And there's all this, all this really expensive stuff lying around just waiting for somebody to come and look at it, and that's why you're there.
Sure.
But there's no one in the building.
Right.
There's no one. It's not a sausage, nothing. And then you're standing there, you're thinking, you start doing stuff in your head. Like, if this happens, what am I going to do? How am I going to do that? So when you've been in that space for enough times, and you haven't shot yourself in the head, and and just at the bottom of picking your nose, then you understand the importance of being alert, because you might miss something, and it's always when it's quiet that the funny stuff happens. It's not when it's jam-packed and everyone's busy. It's always when it's quiet.
Okay.
Always when it's least expected, late in the night or early morning, early hours, dog watch.
4 o'clock. Yes.
The dog watch. That's when things go down, because that is when our psychologically we are at our lowest ebb. We're fighting off sleep. The sentry is fighting off sleep to stay awake.
Yeah.
Because it's our biological clock. It's not meant to be. You're not meant to be active at that time. You're meant to be sleeping. And
I think if you're going to plan something, a mischief or something, it's going to be at the dog watch, as you say.
yes,
Is that right? I mean,
that's what it's always. But that's combat 101. That's when always the attack will come.
well, I remember this incident where they were doing this bypass over Newbury, and they were putting this major road in 20 years ago or something, and they had to get them out. The police went in at about this dog watch, and everybody who was protesting, they're all fast asleep.
Yeah.
And it was just.
But that's
I remember that.
It's
Just
physiological.
And it was there was no problems. They had no problems.
And then once you understand that, there are ways around it as well.
But to keep what? So to be alert to
To be
it.
alert, there's like not like moving. You've got to keep moving, because while you're moving, your biorhythms are active.
Okay.
You can't if you're static in one place.
Good point. You can't fall asleep if you're walking,
If
can
you're
you?
walking, well, I've
You
done
can.
that as well.
It can happen.
Yeah, it can. It can. I physically have been asleep walking.
Gee.
I have had dreams while I've been walking, and I have no idea how I got to where we were going.
I remember you talking about this before, actually.
Yeah, that's
You had a vision or something.
yeah. No, it wasn't. It was real to me. It was real. That was so amazing, and then we spoke. I was speaking about it to someone else, and he was like, "Yeah." For me, because it was, I think my thing then was I was hungry. There was just this table laden with anything you could think about. There was a pig, there was fish, there was a joint of lamb, there was everything, and it was just with a white napkin.
Okay.
And we were walking along. It just sort of floated along beside me, just it won't be where you're looking. It'll just be just outside your field of vision, just about there.
And this is really real. You felt it was real.
It was real for me. It was real.
No,
and
okay.
it kept, and it would sort of weave around trees and things and come back down. And at a certain point in time, I was sort of thinking to myself, "Oh, I'll have a piece of that, or I'll do this or that," and then it'd go around a tree, and then on the other side, I'd be like, "Oh, it's gone now." No, it's there. It's still there. So exhaustion can be anyway, back on track. That thing of manic action
Yeah.
from, it's like 0 to 60 in 0.5 seconds. It can happen. And most times when there is danger to life and limb, that's what it takes to the difference between life and death. Somebody trips, for example, didn't intend to, wasn't expecting to, but trips and sprains something, or it's a misstep. That could be the end of the task, because if we're moving on foot and the person who gets injured is the cameraman, that's the end.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't carry him.
Sure. Right. Okay. Good point.
So very reliant on getting people to be careful, giving them advice on their own personal safety. Don't walk around with your Rolex strapped to your forehead. Take your jewelry off.
So, what is the average age of these sort of these? Is there right from 20 right up to 60?
All ages.
I mean, you say that, but do they tend to be younger or?
No. It's actually quite a mixed bag.
So I say on the technical side, you might get slightly older folk,
No, it's
It's
literally
really
a mixed bag.
Okay.
It's very difficult to generalize.
Okay, so
I don't know if you've heard of Fergal Keane.
Who?
Fergal Keane.
It rings a Fergal. I'm thinking of some song or something. No,
Okay, no, it's BBC, very very famous BBC anchor. But there's all sorts of. It's all ages, and the younger teams.
Do you have to be more careful with them, or?
No, not really, because everyone, what it is that everyone pretty well understands the importance of personal safety. Everyone.
Yeah, I can believe that, because once you get out of, say, like the UK or Europe, you know, you can enter into an environment which is, wow, you know, there's
It's totally alien. It's not where you're used to, and there lies the danger, because you're not used to it. You don't understand. Most of the time, you don't understand what's being said. You know, at least if you understood what was being said, you could sort of like, oh, okay, that's not very nice what he said about me. You know, but you don't know, you don't speak the language.
Sure. No, well, yeah, that's a good point.
And, you know, they could be, you know, discussing how they're going to, you know,
slit your throat.
Slit your throat, or, you know, sell you into slavery or something. But, yeah, it's not so much the difficulty of understanding where you are. That's not so much there. I think that's pretty, over the years, that's become pretty clear. But it's the ability to transmit that information to someone else. That's also very important. If somebody who I work for, or who I'm working with,
you've got to sort of synchronize with their way of thinking, haven't you? And
align.
Sure. Okay.
Into what you want to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Very often the HRA has also the final say on if an action is going to take place. If, for example, they're going into somewhere, the HRA, if the HRA thinks that it's, you know, it's too dangerous, he has the authority to say, look, okay guys, this is not going to work, and here are my reasons why. And that's it, it's stopped.
And if they don't go along with you, then they're sort of outside the envelope.
No, that doesn't happen.
Never happens.
It takes one phone call.
Right, okay. And they're taken off. Because they're not insured or something, they won't be insured.
No, but it's that's why you're there.
Yeah, sure, right, it's part of
the
insurance.
You're not there just to bring up numbers or to pick up the baggage. You're there actually to watch, to observe, to analyze critically, and the sole objective is the safe return of everyone back to normal.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line, and whatever it takes for that to happen.
Sort of health and safety on steroids. It's
yes. And mix in a bit of medical science.
Sure.
A little bit of understanding military operations, or, you know.